We have a major double standard for the media in this country.
Billions of dollars to mental health and the homeless population. A lot of them don't want to take the programs. A lot of them don't want to get the help that is necessary. You can't give them a choice. Either you take the resources that we're going to give you or you decide that you're going to be locked up in jail. That's the way it has to be now.
Or involuntary lethal injection or something. Just kill them.
Yeah, Brian, why did it have to get...
Oh, yeah, just lock him up, says Fox host Lawrence B. Jones, or kill him, says Brian Kilmeade, who has since apologized. But both of them still have their jobs at state regime TV, also known as Fox News. Hi, my name is Suri Crowe, and you are watching the MeidasTouch Network. On the other hand, MSNBC promptly dumped commentator Matthew Dowd after he made these observations about Charlie Kirk.
Said he's been one of the most divisive, especially divisive younger figures in this, who is constantly sort of pushing this sort of hate speech or sort of aimed at certain groups. And I always go back to hateful thoughts lead to hateful words, which then lead to hateful action.
I don't see anything wrong or inaccurate about what he said. Dowd also apologized, but he was gone from his position by the end of the day. And just this week, the Jeff Bezos-owned Washington Post fired its last Black full-time female opinion columnist when they terminated Karen Attiah. Her cardinal sin? Posting these thoughts on social media. Political violence has no place in this country, but we will also do nothing to curb the availability of the guns used to carry out said violence. The denial and empty rhetoric is learned helplessness because the truth is America is sick and there is no cure in sight. Because America, especially white America, is not going to do what it needs to do to get rid of the guns in their country. It will be thoughts and prayers, quote, violence has no place, out of a performance of goodness, and not out of the resolve to convince their communities to disarm. She also quoted Charlie Kirk directly, like verbatim. And then she went on to say in her Substack writings after she was fired, and yet the Post accused my measured BlueSky posts of being, quote, unacceptable, gross misconduct, and of endangering the physical safety of colleagues. Charges without evidence, which I reject completely as false. They rushed to fire me without even a conversation, claiming disparagement on race. That was not only a hasty overreach, but a violation of the very standards of journalistic fairness and rigor the Post claims to uphold. And then she went on to say, what happened to me is part of a broader purge of Black voices from academia, business, government, and media, a historical pattern as dangerous as it is shameful and tragic. And you know, the number of journalists and commentators on legacy news outlets who have been unceremoniously fired is growing. Attiah is just the latest in a long line. Trust me, I think I'm at the front of the line because it happened to me many years ago when I was working for Sinclair. The Washington Post has lost pretty much all of its seasoned reporter staff, as well as its longtime opinion columnist staff. And just recently, one of my favorite reporters there, Pulitzer Prize winning investigative journalist from the Post, Carol Leonnig, joined MSNBC as an investigative journalist there. But now I'm wondering, will she be able to do her job truly in light of the way that MSNBC treated Matt Dowd? I don't know. John Harwood, Jim Acosta, Terry Moran, Joy Reid, Bill Owens, the legendary producer at 60 Minutes, all of them were forced out of legacy media for doing the job of journalism, which is to speak and report the truth. A free and independent press, which is protected under the First Amendment. But CBS, ABC, CNN are networks that have completely folded to the pressure of the Trump regime, either by paying Trump's extortion fees, as CBS and ABC both did, multi-million-dollar settlements that they would have easily won had they gone to court, or by forcing their star journalists like Acosta out the door. NBC is completely spinning off MSNBC, like, we want to get away from that. And its morning show hosts, Joe and Mika, completely kissed the ring when they went to Mar-a-Lago to make nice with Trump. We've talked about corporate media's utter failure many times here on the MeidasTouch Network, from the New York Times' relentless attacks on President Joe Biden from the moment he stepped into the Oval Office, to its absolute pass and complete blinders when it comes to a sleeping seemingly dementia-ridden and completely unhinged mad Trump. Like, who? What? Our nation is in extreme danger when our independent press is not allowed to do its job. That's what authoritarian regimes look like. And the fact that Fox, which is not a news network, but millions and millions of people get their information there, is allowed to blatantly lie and defame about everything and incite violence without any repercussions is what disturbs me the most.
And we're going to avenge Charlie's death in the way Charlie would want it to be avenged. He was such a beautiful boy. He was an American boy. And he was incredibly positive. He was full of energy and life. And he made politics fun. And this is not a controversial person. This is not a polarizing guy, a divisive person, a firebrand that he's being described as in the media. This is like a guy that you have a barbecue with at your summer house. This is the kind of guy, if you came back with your daughter, you'd say, thank God, we got a good one. He's a great athlete. He's a great person. He's a great Christian. So when he goes out to these college campuses, he's not provoking anybody. He's like Socrates. He asks questions, and he does it with a smile. And there's nothing controversial about saying socialism is worse than capitalism. Men and women are different. Let's put America first, because that's all he was about, putting America first. And as Greg said, this hits differently because Charlie was one of us. And Trump gets hit in the ear. Charlie gets shot dead. They came after Kavanaugh with a rifle to his neighborhood. They went after Musk's cars. They just shot 2 Jews outside the embassy. Think about it. Scalise got shot, barely survived. It's happening. You got trans shooters. You got riots in LA. They are at war with us. Whether we want to accept it or not, they are at war with us. And what are we going to do about it? How much political violence are we going to tolerate? And that's the question we're just going to have to ask ourselves. Mm-hmm. Now, Charlie would want us to put as much pressure on these people as possible. Dana nailed it. This is unacceptable and has to stop. And it has to stop now.
Right. And the left are the ones who are stoking and inciting violence. I mean, what Waters does in that clip is really inexcusable and it's dangerous. And then he's saying that Kirk was not a polarizing person. Socrates. Okay. Well, go look up the hundreds and hundreds of clips of Kirk saying non-polarizing things on the internet about women, Black women specifically, trans people, gay people, Palestinians. Look it up. It, of course, does not mean that he should have been killed, but he was a very divisive figure. Absolutely. But, that's okay, according to Waters and his ilk, because he's one of us, which is code for a white, straight Christian guy. And by the way, there is no they. MAGA is spinning a very dangerous lie with this one. And they all sing from the same page of music. They are doing this. They killed Charlie Kirk. So far, the evidence points to one young white male who allegedly shot and killed Kirk. There was no group who did this. There was no leftist conspiracy that urged him to do this. That is a lie. And I am calling them out on it. And we all need to be doing that because they're using this they bullshit to gin up the right to exact revenge. As you heard Waters say, we're out for revenge on the left. And it's super dangerous, you guys. The left is not a violent army plotting violence on the right. And data shows it's in fact quite the opposite, starting with the January 6th violent insurrection, the Oath Keepers, the 3%ers, the Proud Boys, which the FBI labeled as violent extremist groups. Okay. The Proud Boys standing back and standing by. How can we forget that? From their commander in chief ordering them to do that, and ending with the number of domestic terrorists who turn out to be right-wing extremists. It's over 80%. Look at these graphs from the Bezos-owned Washington Post. Look at all that red. That's from the right wing. It's not from the left. The number of people who exact violence from the left is very small. It's not non-existent, and we have to own it, and it's wrong. But the majority of violent extremism is coming from the right. And the inciter in chief is Donald Trump, as I just pointed out. Here he is threatening Jonathan Karl of ABC News just this week.
Bondi's saying she's going to go after hate speech. Is that, I mean, a lot of your allies say hate speech is free speech.
You should probably go after people like you because you treat me so unfairly. It's hate. You have a lot of hate in your heart. Maybe they'll come after ABC. Well, ABC paid me $16 million recently for a form of hate speech, right? Your company paid me $16 million for a form of hate speech.
That is the president of the United States, you guys, threatening a member of the so-called free press. Can you seriously imagine if President Biden or Obama or anyone else ever did that? Back to, George Bush? That is unconscionable. And he did it, by the way, to an Australian reporter on the same day. And he did this to Karl after ABC paid him off $16 million. So as I always say, it never pays to negotiate or pay off a terrorist because they are always going to take more. They are never satisfied. So good job on that, ABC. And here is Representative Eric Swalwell's response to that exact exchange.
I mean, are you fucking kidding me? In the United States of America, where enshrined in the very first amendment of our Constitution is a right to free speech, is the President of the United States looking a reporter in the eye on the White House grounds saying, we should go after you because of your speech. We are losing America, folks. America is sick. She's on life support. We're going to lose America. And it's hard for me to go and vote to fund a government that would lock up a reporter because Trump doesn't like them. And it doesn't even feel like a close call, frankly, when you put it in perspective. When you watch that clip, like, why would I want to fund this aspiring dictator's government so that reporters who dissent can go to jail easier? Like, what are we doing here? Like, what are we doing here? This is not a close call. We are headed in the fast lane to a dictatorship. And funding Donald Trump imprisoning reporters, it's just going to get us there faster. And so, yes, I don't like this budget because it takes food out of the mouths of the hungry. I don't like this budget because it makes you pay more for your health care. I don't like this budget because it doesn't do anything to bring down the cost of groceries. I don't like this budget because it allows more, foreign conflicts that the president's going to get us into, and less, to get us out of the conflicts, like Ukraine that he said would end on day one. I don't like this budget for a million reasons. This man, this monster, this aspiring dictator is telling a reporter who's asking him a question that he is going to go after him because he doesn't like his question. That is not America. That's China. It's Russia. It's Iran. It's North Korea. It's a lot of places that we never want to look like, have fought hard to not look like. And I'm not going to vote to make us look anything closer to that. So, there you go. That was an easy one for me. Sometimes the simplest explanation is the right one. I am not funding the locking up of those who dissent, because pretty soon they'll find you. And I don't want any part of that.
He's completely right. And we cannot allow this to be normalized. And that's my concern with legacy media just folding like a house of cards. They're normalizing this behavior. They're getting rid of anyone who dares to speak the most mild criticism of the Trump regime and its flag bearers. It's horrible and dangerous. We must not normalize the violence and the hatred of this regime. And, I categorically denounce violence. What happened to Charlie Kirk was terrible. I am still disturbed by what I saw. And I have not heard one leader on the left say that it wasn't. Not one. So we have to drop this both sides shit. It's not both sides, okay? That excuses the MAGA right from accountability, and it excuses Trump and Stephen Miller and Tom Homan and the rest of them from their daily threats against those of us who believe in a free and safe America. Nobody should be getting fired or doxxed or threatened because they voice an opinion. Reporters should be able to freely report the truth and facts without fear of retribution. Like I said, I've walked a mile in those shoes. It was terrifying getting dragged into management's office because I dared to report the truth and didn't give Trump's side of everything. That is not journalism. And we are watching journalism disappear in real time when it comes to legacy media. And on that note, it is all the more imperative that we support independent media voices, independent journalism voices. I'm a legit journalist. I worked as a real reporter and journalist for many, many years of my life. And it is a very dangerous job. I can't tell you how many times I was sent out into the streets and in gunfire and zones. And we really need to appreciate journalists, from those who are in active war zones to those who are daring to speak the truth, especially in a time like right now. So please support my independent journalism by following my links below. I've started a Substack. I would really appreciate y'all's support to come follow me there and subscribe. It's free. And of course, I'm always happy to see you guys here on MeidasTouch, where we are allowed to report the truth. Okay. I will see you back here soon. Remain fierce and peace.
Love this video? Support independent media and unlock exclusive content, ad-free videos, and custom emojis by becoming a paid member of our YouTube channel today. You can also gift memberships to others. Let's keep growing together.